What happens when two former brothers put aside a decade of betrayal to deliver the ultimate payback? When the tribal chief and the architect unite to storm SmackDown and unleash hell on the men who tried to destroy them? Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins just returned with a vengeance, and the attack on Paul Heyman and Bron Breakker will be talked about for years. Before we break down this explosive SmackDown assault, make sure you're representing the true kings of WWE. Grab the Roman Reigns OTC1 collection, the new October 1st sneakers, the iconic JUSO, 4 letters, one word, T, and the explosive, Jacob Fatu, all gas, no brains, shirt. All links are in the description below. The stage was set for another Paul Heyman victory speech on Friday Night SmackDown. With Bron Breakker standing guard and the rest of his Vision faction lurking backstage, the mastermind behind WWE's chaos was ready to gloat about his takeover. But what he didn't account for was the storm that was about to hit, a storm born from betrayal and fueled by revenge. The problem was Paul Heyman's growing arrogance and the unchecked destruction of his Vision faction. With Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed waiting in the wings, Heyman believed he was untouchable. The challenge was whether Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, both victims of Heyman's schemes, could channel their rage into a coordinated strike that would shake the Vision faction to its core. As Heyman bragged about his new era, the arena went black. When the lights slammed back on, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins stood side by side on the entrance ramp. They moved with purpose, ignoring the roaring crowd, their eyes locked on Heyman and Breakker. Before Breakker could react, Seth hit a super kick, while Roman delivered a thunderous spear to Heyman. The message was clear as they stood over their fallen enemies: the past was buried, and payback had arrived. Seth grabbed a microphone, his voice dripping with intensity. "You thought you could break us? You just united us." This wasn't just an attack, it was a statement. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, once bitter enemies, have found common ground in their mutual vendetta against Paul Heyman. Their alliance signals a strategic shift in the war against the Vision faction. By targeting Heyman directly, they've gone after the brain of the operation, hoping to cripple the faction's coordination and leadership. The fact that they executed this assault without Dean Ambrose present suggests this is a calculated partnership rather than a full Shield reunion. It also positions them as the moral center of WWE, fighting back against Heyman's corporate tyranny. The chemistry between. You cannot miss what happens next in this epic rivalry. If you want to witness every moment of this explosive alliance and the war against the Vision faction, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The battle for WWE's soul is just heating up, be here for all the action. Subscribe now.